you all ready? Let's hear it. I can't hear you. PHL, show your pride. Hey, let's hear it. Yell with spirit. Friends, on this side yell. Trans, joy. Friends, on this side yell. Trans, joy. Put us together one more time. Trans, joy. Trans, joy. Let's hear it. Trans, joy. One more time. Trans, joy. Next time. Trans, joy.
So thank you all for joining us for raising the Trans Pride flag over Philadelphia City Hall for the 5th year in a row. We are so happy to be here, and thank you to City Hall for allowing us this space and for celebrating along with us. So we have a lovely program filled with some incredible folks who are here to speak to you about their thoughts on trans wellness, on trans joy, to celebrate on this beautiful sunny day here in Philadelphia, and to really show our pride by raising this flag in front of everyone. So I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Riley Marcano. So Riley, who uses they, them pronouns, is a trans non-binary person who is brown and super queer. They grew up in the Bronx, started HRT in Hawaii, grew into a person in Philly, and then moved to Queens. During Riley's time in Philly, they helped create Trans Week of Visibility, a week celebrating how amazing, strong, and thriving the trans community is. Currently, Riley is a care coordinator for a nonprofit in New York City. Next month, they will be starting their academic journey into social work at the Silverman School at Hunter College. On their downtime, you can catch Riley daydreaming about dogs, trying to find a donut place, or taking goofy pictures with their grandmother. Riley Marcano.
Hi, everyone. When I think of trans joy, I think of the first time I got a bank card with my name on it. I think of the first time my abuela said Riley. I think of the first time I went to the beach without a shirt on, and I said, yeah, this is right. When I think of trans joy, I think about how vibrant and beautiful and thriving the trans community is, and the actions that are needed for my community to keep thriving and to stay alive. When I apologize. When I think of trans joy, I think of trans liberation, and we need that now. When I say trans liberation, this is what I mean. For us not to be afraid to walk out the door every morning, especially Black trans women of color. For my siblings to be able to get a job, and not be diminished for the ones that we already have. Because everyone, sex work is work. For my siblings to be in high positions of power in organizations and government. For us not to be harassed every day, whether it be at the street or at our own places of employment. For our bodies, our pronouns, and our identities to be taken seriously. For my siblings to be able to access housing and education. For my siblings to be able to see providers that are not only trans competent, but are trans themselves. For us to be able to go to any organization or any provider, and not just one or two, and for us to be respected where we go, wherever we go. For organizations that say they are trans competent, to be held accountable to their mission and to the community that they serve. Lastly, at Trans Week of Visibility last year, we had Milan Nicole Sherry, and she said this, and I've been keeping it with me since that day. I want an accomplice, not an ally. My life is on the line every day. What are my cis siblings doing to help me and my community? I see trans joy in my community every day. We are more than a hashtag on Twitter. We are successful, we are brilliant, and we are here. To my cisgender siblings, it's time to help us or get out the way. Because we are not limiting our joy for anyone. So now, I would love for us to chant together. So, when I say, what do we want? You say trans liberation. And I said, when do we want it? And you say, now. So we'll practice one and then we'll do it 3 times. So what do we want?
Trans liberation.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Trans liberation.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Trans liberation.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Trans liberation.
When do we get it?
Now.
Thank you so much, and I love you all.
Thank you, Riley. So I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Kellen Fallows. Kellen uses he, him, his pronouns and was born in Maple Shade, New Jersey. He has been living in Philadelphia since he was 11. It is his 2nd year attending the conference, and Kellen is our youngest Interdisciplinary Review Committee member. A fun fact about Kellen is that he can do the Macarena to any song. Without further ado, Kellen Fallows.
What does transgender mean? Transgender means denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender does not correspond with their birth sex. Is that all it means, though? Really, think about it for a minute. What does transgender really mean to you? The technical definition may be correct, but being transgender means so much more to many of us standing here today, including me. It's being yourself, being who you truly believe you are. Being transgender is something to be proud of who you are, who you have figured yourself out to be. It may be difficult when you're first figuring everything out, but that first time when someone calls you by your correct pronouns or says your name, it's an amazing feeling. When I first came out, it was difficult for everyone to get the hang of my name and pronouns, but when they did, it was amazing. Someone called me by my correct pronouns without thinking twice, and it gave me such a rush. It was a good rush. It felt great to be out and comfortable with myself. As I finish this, I just wanted to say that I'm completely proud of every single one of you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Kellen. So, I realize I didn't introduce myself at this, My name is Jay Alston. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am one of the coordinators of the Trans Wellness Conference this year. So I'm so honored to welcome you all to our beautiful city. To live in a place which celebrates the trans community with such spirit and such regularity is a gift and a blessing. This is the third Trans Wellness Conference that I have been on the logistics team for, and every year I am proud to invite our attendees from all over the world to the city of brotherly love, sisterly affection, and as one of my best friends and colleagues, Oliver Deleuze, likes to add, the city of non-binary rage. Philadelphia is a fiercely proud and unique city that likes to celebrate its fighters. The trans community fits right at home here. Fighters are exactly what our community is comprised of. Though the conference is meant to provide easy and free access to information and resources on trans wellness, I believe that trans wellness is a fight. We fight our battles as individuals, in doctors' offices, courtrooms, workplaces, and classrooms around the world. But the trans community has an even greater fight towards true, holistic wellness. We can update our standards of care, we can edit the curriculum, we can lessen legal restrictions, we can make steps one by one towards better lives. But is this truly the wellness the trans community needs? How can we have trans wellness in our current political climate? How can we have wellness under social and economic systems that punish deviation from an imperialist norm? How can we have wellness while our Black trans sisters meet their ends too soon at the hands of a violent and deeply troubled culture? Achieving wellness in spite of these conditions that we find ourselves in is no small task. Despite the content of this speech thus far, the theme of our conference this year is no mistake. Trans joy, now more than ever, represents the critical path to wellness. What trans joy means to you is very different than what it means to me. For some, trans joy looks like wearing the finest clothes and adorning yourself in the finest accompaniments. To others, trans joy involves sweatpants and endless ice cream. To some, trans joy looks like having a place to sleep at night and call your own. To others, trans joy is a day spent surrounded by community. To some, trans joy is remembering to take your medication if that's the only thing that you can do that day. To others, trans joy is a lifelong process with an ever-moving goalpost. Trans joy is not the destination, but it is truly the journey towards trans wellness. We cannot reach our destination of trans wellness alone. We must choose every day to join together and march towards our liberation. We must make the active choice that we will not leave others behind, even when they journey differently than we might choose to. The path to trans wellness, much like the streets of Philadelphia, is riddled with obstacles and will not be easy to traverse within our lifetime. But we can help each other along the way. We can try and sometimes fail and try again. We can ask for help. We can offer support. We can place those who started farther back before us or carry them the rest of the way. And in moving through the journey towards trans wellness, may there be a piece of trans joy for all of us. So, I would like to next introduce Tatiana Woodard. Tatiana uses she, her, hers pronouns. Her hometown is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She is a community engagement coordinator at Mazzoni Center. This year, Tatiana was the Philadelphia Pride Parade Grand Marshal, Philadelphia Gay News' Person of the Year, the winner of the Trip Project Community Activist Award and the Michael Advocacy Award. Tatiana also owns over 100 pairs of shoes. And Tatiana says that there is power in naming yourself, in proclaiming to the world that this is who you are. Wielding this power is often a difficult step for many trans people because it's also a visible one. And we thank Tatiana for her visibility. Tatiana. Hello, everyone.
Again, my name is Tatiana Woodard, and I am a proud IRC member of the 2019 Trans Wellness Conference, and also a community engagement coordinator for the Manzoni Center. But I am first the voice for the voiceless. What an honor it is to stand here in this very spot for the third time this year. A black trans woman of color who was often told that she wasn't good enough. Trans joy is the word of the hour. But today, it is my hope that my fellow trans siblings will experience trans joy in its fullest. We had a difficult year. We were threatened by the current administration. The murder rate of black trans women has reached an all-time high. So this week, I challenge each and every one of my siblings to find joy. Take a moment and find joy within this week as we gather, because our existence is trans joy. Thank you.
Thank you, Tatiana. The next speaker I would like to invite up is Aiden DiStefano.
How you guys doing tonight? I'm going to hold this, okay? Because I don't want to stand here. I appreciate this opportunity to share with you my trans joy. It started on October 12th, 1998, 2:23 a.m. One of the nurses said, "It's a girl." Family, friends surround the room with tears coming down their faces, with them probably saying, "Look how beautiful she is." I'll be the first child born into my family. Along with being the first baby, my parents would serve as guideposts as I would grow and develop to them finding my own sense of identity. Eventually, when I could comprehend things, I lectured to my mom how I only wanted to shop in the boys' department of the stores. My mom and dad had no issues with this at all, to then saying, "I want to keep my hair short." At this point in my life, I didn't understand what was happening, but I knew I wasn't like the rest of my friends or family. My mother was just like me when I was growing up. She was an extreme tomboy, had short hair, wore khaki pants, everything that I got everything from her. So she never really questioned me or my identity at that time. But no question about it, I passed as a guy since I was in elementary school. It didn't come to me until I was 11 or 12 when my mom asked me if I liked girls or if I was gay. Either way, I knew my parents would support me no matter what. But it was something far more than just liking girls. It was the fact that I was feeling some kind of way about myself. How could I possibly explain to somebody that I had a male brain but a female body? I felt trapped. Until I found a few videos on the internet, somehow not knowing what I was watching, and then a few years later went by and finally breaking through the surface that this is who I am and I'm not going to hide. While I was at retreat camp, I decided to come out to my mom when I got home. While coming out to my mom, I knew that this was going to be a long journey ahead for me and the rest of my family as well. But just knowing that she came to me with arms open wide, that no matter how much hatred I would get from the outside world, I knew my mom, sister, and family would be behind me. Fast forward a few more years, I was 15 and at my first appointment at the Manzoni Center, where we talked about if I was going to start hormones or not. And sure enough, the doctor told me right then and there the first date. I couldn't tell you how I was feeling, but I can say that my mom had the biggest smile on her face, and that just validated things for me by 1,000 times. My journey began July 21st, 2015. My first tee shot. The changes were immaculate. My body was changing in ways that I didn't understand, but I just let happen. This was my body saying, "We are making you who you were always meant to be." A year later, I had top surgery, and this is the point in my life where it changed me forever. I remember my mom asking me prior to surgery if I was scared. And to be honest, I just wanted those bags of meats off my chest right then and there. I can't stand those things, you know what? This meant that I could finally run shirtless and not have those tight binders on, and I could swim and just overall be free and happy. All the things that I dreamt about that I thought was never going to be possible happened for me. But none of this would have been possible if I didn't have the support from my family. Once I found the source of happiness within my family, they wanted to They want to get educated about the trans community so they could be the biggest allies for me and others as well. Now, today, I'm just over 4 years on hormones and just about 3 years post-op. Every day for the past 4 years, I wake up with the biggest smile on my face knowing that I am Aiden and nobody can stop me. Some may try to bring us down, like the current administration trying to go back and change all the rights that we have, or school districts being sued, like my own district was, trying to take away trans rights. I was overjoyed to be the voice for trans students in the Boyertown versus Doe lawsuit. That was recently being denied by the United States Supreme Court. But now is the time where all of our voices must be heard. The time is now. If we don't put ourselves out there, nothing's going to change. I do want to give a special thanks for the organizations who continue to fight for trans rights daily, like Mary Catherine and Rhea at the ACLU, Jason, who is the director of PA Youth Congress, and also the Mazzoni Center, who has helped me from day one. I do want to leave you with this. You have to believe in yourself, trust yourself, and no matter what, you're never alone because we are all connected in some way. You are only one thought away from love. Forgive yourself, accept who you are, and accept your brilliance. Remember that challenges are opportunities to show yourself that no matter what, you have it within you. And if I had it within me, you sure as hell have it within you too.
Thank you, Aiden. Now I have the absolute honor of introducing our next speaker, the mayor of Philadelphia himself, James Kenney.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone. It's my privilege to join you for today's trans flag raising to mark the opening of the 18th annual Trans Wellness Conference. The Trans Wellness Conference is the largest free and accessible conference of its kind in the entire world. We as a city... We as a city and community are extremely proud to host this annual conference, which celebrates the beautiful identities that make up the spectrum of gender diversity. This year's theme for the conference is Trans Joy. It is our responsibility now more than ever to make sure we protect our trans and non-binary community members' right to exist, be seen, and be proud. We must work harder than ever to ensure that trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming folks are cared for legally, physically, emotionally, and mentally. With all the ugly hate coming out of Washington, D.C. and elsewhere, it's important that we support, uplift, and celebrate every community. Today, I'm proud to celebrate trans, non-binary, gender non-conforming, two-spirit, and third gender Philadelphians. Thank you for being proud, being present, and always being you. We hear you, we see you, we love you, and you will always have a home here in Philadelphia. And I just want to say that I've been involved with the LGBTQ community for almost 40 years, from the first time I entered into politics. And the evolution of our understanding of people and who they are and what they need and what they deserve really has come a long way from 1989, 90 to today. And I see this diverse, beautiful group of people here of different genders and different ethnicities and different races. That's what this community all is. It's really the same as the whole community. It's part of our community. It's not a separate part of the community. It's part of our community. And we have to make sure that we stand up to the ugly, stand up to the bigotry, stand up to the hate, and put it in its place. And we will all move forward together as just good, decent Philadelphia people. We love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Kenney. I would like to introduce our final speaker for this flag-raising event, Amber Hikes.
Good afternoon! All right, what a beautiful crowd we have. Yeah! Ah, y'all are a gorgeous crowd. I'm Amber Hikes, as Jay said, and I'm the Executive Director of the Office of LGBT Affairs for the City of Philadelphia. And happy Trans Wellness Conference. Are y'all excited? I just want to be the want to extend a warm welcome to everyone here joining us for our kickoff of the 19th Annual Trans Wellness Conference. And for those who are visiting us from other cities, welcome to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, sisterly affection, and sibling solidarity. Yes, it's going to get fun. We want to welcome you especially to City Hall, the oldest, largest, and frankly most gorgeous municipal building in the entire country. And I had to take a minute to hold space for the place that we're in and give you a little bit of history. Because 5 years ago, Philadelphia became the first city to fly this gorgeous trans flag at a municipal building in the entire country. And 5 years later, we are still the largest city in the country that flies this flag every single year. So give it up for Philadelphia. So I know we have some Philadelphians in the audience. Make a little noise if you're a Philadelphian. And how many visitors do we have? Folks that are joining us from somewhere else. All right. If you're visiting, you know that we have good food and we have good drinks and we have beautiful architecture, but you also know that we have a long history of resistance and resilience and activism. But let me tell you something else about Philly. We are a diverse city, we are a loud city, we are a scrappy city, we're a gritty city, and we love our trans community. In Philadelphia, we know that it is transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming communities who throughout history have long led the battle for the fundamental rights of all of us. We know that it is trans activists and trailblazers since the beginning of the time who have fought for our right to be seen, recognized, and affirmed in our true, most authentic selves. So, for you, transgender, non-conforming, non-binary siblings, you all are the descendants of Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera. You say that. You are the children of Miss Major and Wewa, the two-spirited tribesperson from the late 1800s. You are the siblings of Albert Cashier and Miss Charlene and Miss Jackie. You are magic. And in Philly, we are so proud to host the 19th PTWC, this brilliant celebration of trans, non-binary, gender non-conforming communities. And we are proud that Philadelphia stays at the forefront of revolutionary, transformative, trans movement work. So my friends, continue to celebrate, continue to fight for your right to live out loud and proud, continue to be who you are, to do it authentically and fabulously, and even though the mayor said it, it bears repeating, and I'm going to say it again. You all, we see you, we love you, we hear you, we stand by you, we love you. Happy Trans Wellness Conference. All right, let's hear it one more time for the 19th Annual Philadelphia Trans Wellness Conference.